Welcome everybody to another episode of Biryani Football. My name is Raj. This is my dad, who's also my co-host. Sorry, unfortunately, we couldn't upload last week due to a very busy schedule with school and work and other factors that played in that. But hopefully, we'll be able to have more consistent programming as we have been doing for the past couple weeks. So yeah, it was a really fun week of football. A lot of games I did not expect going the way they did. A lot of upsets. Very lopsided upsets at that.
Right. And again, from my side as well, welcome back to our podcast. Like Virat said, we had some priorities that we need to get straight. And that's why, we could not record the podcast. But we're back. We're back with a bang. And we'd like to keep this going at least for the next few weeks because we do have a vacation that is coming up. So we had to figure out, how we're going to manage that. But we'll see when one day at a time, 1 week at a time. But coming back to football, what a week. What a week. I mean,
Yeah.
the best part is like the snowy week, right? I mean, it was snow and it was so much fun. I mean, football doesn't stop because of snow. It does stop for, when they have lightnings and things like that, but not for snow. And it makes for some good entertainment. If you're a football fan, very tight fought games. Sorry, I couldn't say those two words, tight fought. But, amazing. And again, like the playoff picture is shifting so fast, especially in some divisions. And some teams that were thought they're not even in the picture, all of a sudden they're in the bubble and they're even running away with some divisions. But, we're going to. We are always, like always, we pick some games to kind of highlight, and we'll probably also give a glimpse into what to expect in the coming weeks as well as we inch closer to the playoff picture. And I think in the next week or so, we will have some clear, at least like division winners, formal division winners. Let me put it that way. We already know kind of know who's running away with the division, but like from a formal perspective, like I think we'll probably know in the next week or so. But yeah, so what games did you pick so far, and what are some of the things that stood out to you?
Yeah, so the first game I really want to go over is the Chargers versus Eagles. It was a really entertaining game. It was super fun to watch. And, I was not expecting that performance from Jalen Hurts at all. I was so disappointed.
I have a theory, but I'll come to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, 21 out of 40, barely 50% completion, and 4 interceptions and a fumble. It's just, what's going on? It's not the type of performance you would expect out of a guy like Jalen Hurts. But, that's how he's been playing for the last couple of weeks. He's been averaging like sub 100. He's been averaging sub 100 passer ratings, and it's just been very, very disappointing watching from him. And, I don't think that the Eagles should listen to what some people were saying that he should get benched. I think he did win the Super Bowl last year, and there's a lot of credit for that. I don't think he deserves to get benched, but I do think that they need to start considering other viable quarterback options like the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers. Start looking into potential replacements because I think
For Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
He's a Super Bowl winner, like 8 months ago.
okay, but it doesn't really determine a lot because, especially with the Eagles' track record, they're not able. There's a lot. The quarterbacks don't really define that much, and Jalen Hurts is just showing that maybe he's not like the superstar that everyone thinks he is. He's just a game manager, and so
No.
I think that he does have a lot to prove for himself, especially with that big paycheck he's getting. And so, although he's not close to getting benched, I do think there's a lot of time. There's a lot of things for him that he has to figure out about himself and his accuracy. And there's so much like drama going on with the Eagles. Then he gets sorted out, and there's like the team chemistry is not there, the play calling is not there, and just like all miscombobulated, especially with that high caliber of a team and then not being able to perform well. I think it reflects a lot on Nick Sirianni too and his play calling, because how can you have such a talented team and have a team with such an amazing roster, so much depth on the roster, and great kudos to Howie Roseman for building such a good team, but I feel like Nick Sirianni is definitely not using it the proper way, and I think the fact that he won a Super Bowl automatically gives him a lot of extra credit that he doesn't deserve. But I think more credit goes to Howie Roseman than to Nick Sirianni for winning the Super Bowl. I just feel like Nick Sirianni is not living up to expectations. I think the same could go for the Chargers. They despite getting like over 5 turnovers, the fact that they barely won on a lucky interception, which is a very skillful interception, but I feel like the fact that the Chargers couldn't actually come away with a blowout on that one, it just speaks for how, inefficient the Chargers offense has been lately. Not the type of things you would be expecting from, that high-powered offense with Kimani Vidal, Marion Hampton, Justin Herbert has been playing mediocre at best over the last couple of weeks. I think that they have a lot to improve on. Yeah.
Yeah. Two things I'll add. I mean, I do agree. Like, I feel like, we are looking at like a generational, once in a generation kind of general manager in Harvey Roseman.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's building and the way he makes these aggressive moves and the way they actually pan out, it's amazing. I mean, we have seen like in the last decade or so, like so many general managers. I mean, even in Jersey teams, you can see that like it's pretty much like a revolving door. People come and go, but Harvey Roseman has been there and he has been building teams consistently, bringing people in. It's crazy. I mean, it's unbelievable how he does it and how good of a scouting department Eagles have. Look at the defensive front. I mean, they're so good. They are so good. I mean, yesterday, despite of offense struggling, they almost pulled out the game. But like, kudos to what's that guy's name who actually caught the interception?
I think it was Derwin James, I'm pretty
No,
sure.
not Derwin James. It's Kensington or somebody. Shoots. I should make the notes here. But he was a great catch. He a great interception and he did a great job. Bottom line is, and Justin Herbert was obviously not 100%. He was playing with a broken hand, but I know like there were some throws he could have done better to just put the game away. But I feel like they let the Eagles come in. I mean the trick play with the Saquon Barkley run for a touchdown, that was really good. Everybody in the entire planet was expecting um a tush push with the 1 yard, but they somehow gave it to Saquon Barkley and they ran. And the other time where it was 4th and 1, and there was a offside
Oh yeah,
from the
I saw
Chargers
that.
defensive line, and it kind of gave a new lease. But I think that was a well thrown ball, but it was
It
it
was a
was
beautiful
deflected.
tip.
Beautiful tip and a beautiful catch. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a great catch. My theory again, I have nothing against AJ Brown. He's a great player. He was in my fantasy and he's a great guy. Does a lot of good things in South Jersey and Philly area. But again, like the interception was his fault. He should have caught the ball instead of tipping it into the cornerback. Don't force feed. I mean, every time like they're throwing the ball to the other receivers, they're always having these chunk plays. But whenever they're trying to force feed to AJ Brown, either it's an incompletion or it's an interception. And it's obviously making Hurts look really bad. I am a Hurts believer. I was not in the beginning, but I do believe he's a legit quarterback. I don't think he's a game manager. I don't think he's elite either, but he is well capable of taking a team to, especially with the defensive team that they have. Defense wins championship is the bottom line, and I think like he's a good quarterback. And I mean, they have nothing to lose. I mean, Cowboys obviously lost to Lions, so there's enough cushion for them to run away with the NFC East. But the only thing is, if they do get into playoffs, they have to go and win these tough games, tough away games, and I don't know how they're going to pan out. So we'll see. All right, Viraj. So what's the other game?
The next game I have is the Colts versus Jaguars. It's a really really sad game to watch for the Colts. I'm not even a Colts fan. Like
Same.
I was on the verge of tears. And
Yeah.
Daniel Jones really breaks my heart. He was having a career year with the Colts, and to him to get an Achilles injury, one of the worst in your career. It's really bad. Prayers to him. Yeah, it was really hard to watch. And then not only did Daniel Jones get injured, the rookie Riley Leonard also got injured. I think he's out for the season too.
Ugh.
So it was really hard to watch the Colts team just utterly collapse. And their defense has never really been like that great this season, but their flaws really showed against the Jaguars. They couldn't stop those passes from getting those chunk yards on 3rd downs, and it was just really disappointing performance overall from the defense. I think that the Colts this offseason will really have to overload their defense with new talent and try to get a better pieces to make their team better. And kudos to the Jaguars. I mean, they've been a sneaky good team this year. Nobody's really been talking about them, and now they're sitting on top of maybe one of the most hardest divisions in football this year. I think AFC South has a real contention for being one of the most difficult divisions this year. They have 3 winning record teams. And, 3 of them have the potential to make a playoffs, like high potential to make the playoffs. So it's going to be really fun seeing how this pans out. It's sad watching the Colts because they're going from, oh, we're definitely going to win this division to now they're trying to stay in the wild cards. It's a hard fall off. The Jaguars defense has also been very good. They forced, I think, 4 turnovers, so safety, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. And also, their offense scoring 4 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, I've always had my doubts about him, but I think this year is really securing himself as a good quarterback. Maybe not one of not in like an elite quarterback, but he's good at, getting the ball to the receivers, feeding it down, and also scrambling at times when it's important. I think it's really good fun watching him play football, and the way that he can read defenses is pretty impressive. I think it's the Jaguars are heading in a good place right now. I think they're sitting at third seed overall in the AFC, which is really good for them. And I'm really excited to watch. I did not think that they had high hopes going into the season, but I think right now they're in a good spot where they want to be, and they're definitely going to make the playoffs. I feel, and they have a good chance of making them if they just keep going at it. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Liam Cohen is the coach of the year then?
I don't know about coach of the year, but he definitely is a candidate. I don't think he's going to win coach of the year, but he definitely.
Who's the coach of the year?
Coach of the year, probably Ben Johnson. Yeah.
What about Mike Rabel?
Mike Rabel.
Mike Rabel literally took like a rebuilding team and made sure it was not a rebuild mode. He literally they are on the opposite spectrum of being a contender, legit contender.
Like, I understand that, but I just feel like Ben Johnson, like the way that
yeah, but Ben Johnson was given like a number one pick, like in Caleb Williams. Who a lot of people like
Mike Rabel.
Yeah, but nobody talked about their quarterback as much as Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams was touted to be like a generational talent.
It's the opposite, because last year Caleb Williams he was very down upon.
Yeah, maybe he's a
pretty good
offensive
they had like a 12-game losing streak, not 12, but like a 7-game losing streak last year to end off the season. It was really bad watching them last year. A lot of blame went to Caleb Williams for his poor decision making. But I think the fact that Ben Johnson kind of sculpted him into this great quarterback, and also Caleb Williams went from having one of the highest sack rates last year to one of the lowest sack rates, and I think that has to go a lot to.
No, he's a great offensive mind, and we have seen in the Lions too. I mean, he was the main reason Detroit Lions become a formidable offensive force.
He also brought in great power or coaches like Dennis Allen to make their defense good too. Their defense was pretty bad last year, and this year at the beginning I was like, oh man, this defense stinks. And now I'm like, this defense is not that bad, even though the fact they have a lot of their starters missing and they're still winning these close games and not letting up that many points shows a lot about Dennis Allen is good coaching. I think Ben Johnson has a good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add a couple more things and we'll go forward. I really felt bad for Jones, and he's I don't know him personally, but he was a very likable person when he was with Giants, Jersey area. And, when he was taking off, just like a good human being, I actually felt really good for him, because the difference between a good season for a quarterback and like something like this, like almost $100 million, hundreds of millions of dollars, in fact, guaranteed in some cases. I really genuinely feel bad for him. And I hope his comeback is more stronger than this comeback year that he has already been having. But we'll see. I agree with Raj. Like AFC South is sneakily good division. Houston Texans, like nobody even talked about them few weeks ago when Stroud was out for a while, but now they are right there in the thick of the things. And Colts was supposed to be like running away with the division. Now they don't even know. And flash news, Philip Rivers might be starting.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 44-year-old Philip Rivers coming back.
I mean, he's been retired for like 5 years. Like that's the last thing I expected this season, but it's been a roller coaster of a season.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add.
I'm excited to watch him play. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be like that great.
I just hope as a person in 40s that he will not get seriously injured. Because getting injured in your 40s is not the same as getting in your 30s.
He's not in his prime anymore, so
that's the only thing I hope for. I don't care how he does.
The fact that the Colts have had 2 quarterbacks injured in like the same game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, he had a ton of money with the Chargers and obviously with the Colts. I think he obviously never won a Super Bowl, especially with the draft class of Big Ben and Eli Manning. He's the only guy who never won a Super Bowl. I get that. But at this point in his life stage where he's right now, health is probably like number one.
Yeah. It's like, I guess like he always had like that kind of chip on his shoulder, like he's the only one from that draft class. And
more, bro. Like you gotta move on. You're done. Let's move on with your family and retire and all that.
He has like 10 kids to take care of.
Exactly. Just don't get injured, man. Just at least just don't get injured. All right. Let's go to the next game. I want to, the Bears and Packers. I was watching this game. It was such a fun game. Yeah. I mean, it was back and forth.
It was a crazy.
There was a precursor to this game though, because when Ben Johnson was hired, in his, I don't know, probably you guys saw this on YouTube or not, but in his press statement. He said like, I can't wait to see beat Matt LaFleur twice every year. And that's a big statement. So, Packers, again, it was not a gimme game. It was a very tough out game. Caleb Williams, it's probably like the first game with Ben Johnson. I've watched him like full fledged, and everybody like Tom Brady was probably like I think the main commentator for this game, and it was like, here we go, Caleb Williams, fourth quarter, come back. But he threw an interception. But I think that was not going too much into the mechanics, like was on the back foot and it was trying to throw over a defensive.
I think he should have just gone. He could have ran for the first.
Yeah, get a first down.
He could have just ran for the first down. I don't know why he stopped running.
But like that was like mechanics wise, he was on his back foot and he was trying to throw over a defensive player. Tough.
He didn't have to throw there.
I know, but when he did, it was not a good.
He first of all, he threw it too softly, and then on top of that, he could have ran the ball. And on top of that, there's other people that are open. Like I get I think there's only like 20 seconds left.
Yeah,
but they could have like taken. They had like 3 timeouts or something.
Yeah.
So it was a really bad. That was a great interception. I wasn't expecting that to be.
Especially when it was like a walk-off interception or like a game-winning. It kind of really makes it special. Obviously Josh Jacobs was special, 21-yard run. To get the go-ahead touchdown late in the fourth quarter. And NFC North, just like that, is back to Packers. Lions are not even number 1 or number 2 anymore.
They're trying to make the playoffs right now.
And the other thing is like, obviously Bears were like a 5-game winning streak, and boom, it snapped now. So we have to see like, how they come back to see like an NFC North. Again, that's another fun division to watch, because when you see these good teams like fighting with each other, it really makes it fun. Like unlike some other divisions where it's clunkers, man. It's clunkers. Yeah, do you want to add anything else, Raj?
I'm really proud of the way this Bears team is coming. To go head-to-head with the giant like the Packers is really impressive. And I think they could have won that game if not for that last play. And, it was a really entertaining game to watch from both teams, both of whom I believe they have a good chance of meeting up in the NFC Championship game this year. So
They do.
They have a really good chance. So.
Jordan Love is really evolving into a solid, formidable quarterback.
He's like, I don't know, because sometimes like he plays like horrible, and sometimes he just goes off.
Yeah, but he's been consistent though. Look at his record. Yeah, it's been super consistent. Everybody has these games where ups and downs. But you can't win every game.
But there's some games where he should have won and he single-handedly cost the teams.
I think he's on a good trajectory to go.
He's on a good trajectory, but I don't know. I think he's a little more consistent.
All right, we'll see. Time will tell, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. The second game I want to quickly talk about is the Bengals and Bills. That was again fun game. We were rooting for Bengals because our theory is if Bengals win this, all of a sudden they're only 1 game away from Steelers and Ravens, and then they will fight harder to beat the Ravens next coming week, and then all of a sudden it'll be easier for Steelers to win. That's our theory. But it didn't go according to our theory. Bengals lost. They were leading 28-18 under 9 minutes left. And I was watching, obviously on TV live, and back-to-back interceptions. By Burrow. It's not like, he threw a bad ball. It's just like the defensive player made an unbelievable jump. Sometimes it just sticks to your hand. When you put up your hands, the ball just sticks to your hand and just ran. So that was
both interceptions are very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Very similar.
Yeah.
Blocking thing. But
I think Joe Burrow definitely could have thrown the second interception higher, but for the most part, it wasn't really his fault.
Yeah. The stats won't tell that, right? It only shows that as interception. Doesn't matter like how you make interceptions. We both are big fans of Burrow. I'll never forget his championship game in college with LSU. It's like one of my all-time favorite games. The way he played, masterful guy. I just think that he's in the wrong team, and not just because they're divisionalized. I just feel like he's in the wrong team and the wrong coach.
Definitely wrong coach. I do not like Zach Taylor as a coach.
I know, like he's injury prone, but at the same time, like if you surround him with solid offensive players, just like what Cowboys did a while back. How he did a while back, like the Cowboys did, like just put trade people, man. Shore up, because he's your linchpin to get to the promised land.
The Bengals have had since that Super Bowl against the Rams to improve their offensive line. Because that's one of the biggest reasons they lost the Super Bowl, because Joe Burrow just kept getting sacked in that Super Bowl. And then the fact that it's still that terrible is just come on, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, the only good things I'll again add here is Burrow still threw for 4 touchdowns. He was great except for those two plays. And then T. Higgins, I don't know if you saw that one hand catch while the other guy was like actually pulling his right hand. Only in football. No other sports you get to see these really amazing things. It was really, really good. And obviously Josh Allen was Josh Allen. But I gotta say, I mean, they made sure they converted, Burrow's Bengals mistakes into points. And that's how they won the game. If not, it could have been, but it was Bengals' game to lose.
Yeah,
And
especially with the defensive line that has been very like doubtful this year. They've really come up in the last 2 weeks against the Steelers and the Bengals. Although like they might have Steelers and Bengals aren't like two great like things to like compare defense to.
Yeah.
But I think they definitely show that they're still a good defense because they've been pretty suspect all season long. But in the
Yeah.
last 2 games, they've come up big time. I think they've had like 3 touchdowns defensively in the last 2 games. So.
Absolutely. So it was a great game, and again, it kind of shifts the AFC East now a little bit, right? And the games that are as we move towards the end of this season, the every single game is crucial at this point, especially divisional games and conference games, because the margin of error is like so little. Rogers, probably everybody in the Ravens world is talking about, hey, we'll take it. We got robbed as Steelers fans bunch of times. Jesse James can, touchdown. But, I do think that the catch rule is kind of dumb. I mean, what is a football? I mean, I get it. You caught the ball, you took 2 steps. That's it. I get it. I totally get it. And what if, the other side where you just stretch the ball and it's a touchdown? So what is a touchdown? What is not a touchdown? Especially when you're in end zone, there should be specific rules when you declare something is a touchdown versus not a touchdown. Anything else you want to add, going into the next week or
Yeah, that likely catch, I wasn't a big fan. Even though I'm a Steelers fan, they probably would have lost the game if that was a touchdown.
Why should we get to that point?
I still have to say, I still have to say that. I think I firmly believe that was a touchdown. I feel totally bad for the Ravens. They definitely deserve to win that game.
Yeah.
They, I don't know, how can you catch the ball in the end zone, take 2 steps in, and still not have it be a touchdown? Sure, he dropped the ball after he caught it. After he caught it, secured it, and then had 2 steps, had 2 feet in the end zone. And then that's not enough for a touchdown because they said he fumbled it. I've never seen that before in the history of my experience watching football. It was not a good call.
But I think in all honesty though, it's different, right? I mean, the NFL came back and we're really backed up the refs and they said the rule is a rule and that's how it's supposed to be. But I do think that they need to continue to define what a catch is, what a touchdown is.
Define it one time and then never change it again. Have all the owners meet up. Say what is gonna be a good catch.
Even the coaches. So
have the coaches. Have the coaches and owner
they usually do. When they have this rules committee, the competition committee, where the coaches are a part of it. So we'll see. But great games last week. I mean, even the Texans and Chiefs game
totally changed the playoff landscape.
I know.
And
Chiefs are almost out.
They're pretty much out of the playoffs right now. After going to consecutive championships for the last 8 years in a row or something, to now they might not even make the playoffs. So, man, that's
the name of
crazy
the game,
season
right?
this year. Not expecting anything, and
I mean, even the Texans game. Not that we're going into it, but them going into the Chiefs and actually even DeMeco Ryans. In my opinion, he might be the coach.
He is a very good.
Ooh. Talk about leaders, man. Solid leader.
They started off and everyone thought, oh, this team sucks. DeMeco Ryans will be fired. CJ Stroud's a fraud.
He won with David Mills.
Exactly. And this defense has been historical performance by the defense against the Chiefs.
So it was really good. I mean, a lot of good games bubbling up as they should. They deserve it. I mean, Seahawks is just juggernaut, and even Rams are really good. The 49ers, they're still in the thick of what needs to happen, what can happen, right? I mean, there's so many things that are happening. All this to say that, good stuff that's coming up.
Every division is good except for the AFC North, in my opinion.
And back in the day, just a few years ago,
AFC North had 3 teams.
AFC North had 3 teams representing, almost a 4th team in some cases.
Yeah, the Bengals almost made it that year too, and now they're the worst division in the.
Even the Ravens and Steelers, they doesn't really have that punch anymore.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on with Lamar Jackson. I feel like the Ravens they're hiding something from us about Lamar Jackson. There's no way he's that bad.
Yeah, he's just not himself, and I do think Mike Tomlin. I do think he needs a change of scenery. He's a great coach. Nothing
Yeah.
against him.
And I think maybe even John Harbaugh too. I think that he's
Well,
not.
I mean, John Herbert is still delivering, though. I mean, he's always in the playoffs and he's actually winning a playoff. And obviously, they go to
I
the
mean,
Bills and they lose.
they've only really.
They're not able to get over the hump. But I do agree. I mean, like, longevity is great, but longevity does have a ceiling.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That's what I think too.
Thoughts?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the games this week again. Some great games that's coming up. The Steelers and Dolphins. The only thing is they flexed it to Monday Night Football, which I'm not a big fan of.
Steelers suck on Monday.
Any primetime games, they don't do good, and nobody's watching. Nobody's watching, and we'll see. And Ravens are going to play the Patriots. That's going to be a good game. A lot of good games coming up because this is how it's going to shape up, right? All across all the divisions, across the conferences. So exciting weeks. Next week, Viraj will be flying to India. So I don't know if you're going to have
We will both be.
a podcast. I'll be flying on Friday, but we'll see. We'll figure something out. Maybe I'll bring a guest instead of Viraj and we'll do the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out to keep this going, and maybe we'll record the week after from India.
Maybe we'll record from India. Yeah.
From India or something like that. We'll figure something out. But until then, thanks for tuning. Please leave your comments and what do you think? Viraj made some controversial statements in saying that Hurts is not it. What do you think? Put in the comments.
And
I made something that Tomlin is not it. What do you think? John Harbaugh to that our coach of the year, Ben Johnson. He made some controversial statements, not planned, but